about keeping me away from my money. This is not right.
About getting me far from my cash? This isn't correct, and you realize this is a little unreasonable. It was totally beyond my edge of reference. I've been in Broadway since I was 14. And I've heard the tales, mom, of what happened is Wendy Williams being hushed and controlled despite her desire. To the contrary, stunning charges recommend a dim reality in the background, very much like Brittany Lance's conservatorship adventure. It appears to be one more big name is caught in a trap of monetary guardianship, and problematic clinical determination go along with us as we dig into the chilling subtleties and disentangle reality behind Wendy Williams' upsetting dilemma. No cash, and I will let you something know if it happens to me. Story than at first expected. While Wendy's group has formally uncovered her conclusion of essential moderate aphasia and front-facing transient dementia, stunning claims have arisen portraying a lady caught in the snare of monetary double-dealing and control the chain of occasions, prompting the portion of a monetary watchman over Wendy Williams' funds started guiltlessly enough with a standard solicitation to check her bank proclamations. Wendy, thinking wrongdoing by her monetary counsel, tried to switch banks anyway. Wells Fargo's refusal to consent swelled into a fight in court that uncovered disturbing claims of abuse and control. They had a worries over her capacity to pursue monetary choices, and they froze every one of her resources so she can't do the easiest things like cover her bills. Wendy fervently denies any psychological insufficiency, attesting her adequacy of brain. In a testimony to the New York High Court, she blamed Wells Fargo for erroneously depicting her as deranged to legitimize freezing her resources regardless of firing her monetary consultant for unfortunate behavior. Wendy remains kept out of her records, unfit to get to her assessed $20 million fortune. Previous daytime star Wendy Williams expresses she's out of money. Hypothesis twirls around the thought processes behind Wells Fargo's activities. Wendy's lawyer, Lan Thomas, smells a rat, recommending that somebody might have mussed Wendy's cash, provoking the bank to disguise reality. This doubt gains creep given Wells Fargo's grieved history, including a $3 billion fine in 2020 for false practices. Moreover, Wendy's situation reaches out past monetary limitations, notwithstanding confirmations from her group that she's adding the customary remittance through the monetary gatekeeper. Concerns weighed about her capacity to support herself satisfactorily. Reports demonstrate that her staff members stay neglected, depending on her director Will Selby for monetary help. The incongruity of a news tycoon unfit to get to her own abundance isn't lost on eyewitnesses. Did you see a nervous system specialist to see whether I'm insane? Meow. Wendy Williams' fight with Wells Fargo has delayed for almost 18 months, leaving what is going on and bringing up upsetting issues about her independence. Yet ongoing advancements have added a chilling layer to this generally frightening adventure. In a stunning turn, one of Wendy's watchmen, Sabrina Morrissey, winds up at the focal point of an outrageous claim, claiming a plan to deny a client of a faltering $5 million while keeping up with command over Wendy's funds. The claim, documented in 2022, discloses an evil story of double dealing and control suggestive of a Hollywood thrill ride. The claims against Morrissey and her firm Morrissey Moore LP, alongside around 10 other lawyers, illustrating veracity and trickery. They stand blamed for contriving to propagate a ridiculous guardianship over an individual, Jose Verdugo, who had won a $5 million individual injury guarantee. As per court reports, this guardianship was taken advantage of as a way to take advantage of Verdo monetarily, depleting his repayment through extreme legitimate expenses and trivalation. Yet, how does this connect with Wendy Williams' own quandary? The equal are striking. Wendy's conservatorship, started by Wells Fargo's choice to freeze her records and choose a monetary watchman, there's ghostly similitudes to the supposed double dealing of Verdugo. Like Verdugo, Wendy winds up caught in a legitimate entanglement, unfit to get to her significant fortune while her funds are constrained by outside powers. Gracious. The plan, framed in the claim against Morrissey and her partners, brings up upsetting issues about the intentions behind Wendy's conservatorship. Might it at some point be that similar people answerable for Verdugo's predicament are additionally behind Wendy's decaying well-being? and monetary woes. The ramifications are chilling, proposing a trap of debate, mint, and culpability that stretches out a long ways past the bounds of a solitary claim. I'm simply attempting to comprehend like what you pay her, and she's your companion. I pay her okay. A hypothesis is, however unnerving as it could be conceivable, the mode is operandi illustrated in the claim. Pronouncing people crippled, restricting their correspondence with friends and family, and get to their funds through criminal associations and banks looks similar to the strategies utilized for Wendy's situation. I'd at some point be that Wendy's implied finding of essential moderate aphasia and front-facing worldly dementia is simply a smoky screen intended to hide the genuine degree of the abuse she's gotten through. You said in the New York Times Magazine, I'm explicitly lynching an individual yet. There's one thing I would never be a piece of, and that one thing happened when the capture of Wendy's gatekeeper just fans the fire-loaning confidence to the idea that her conservatorship isn't what it appears. Sabrina Morsi's supposed contribution in an extravagant plan to dupe a client creates a shaded area of uncertainty over her guardianship of Wendy, raising serious worries about her reasonableness for the job, assuming Morrissey is able to do such horrifying, unfortunate behavior in one case. What's to prevent her from doing likewise in one more? In the midst of the whirling theory and allegations, a frightening hypothesis arises, proposing Wendy Williams' blunt nature might have prompted her being quieted all through her profession. Wendy has valiantly dug into the existences of VIPs, frequently uncovering subtleties that others wouldn't even consider. Contacting her harsh tone and no-nonsense methodology have made her a lightning bar for debate, procuring her both reverence and hostility in equivalent measure, yet satisfy. I don't regard individuals' protection. That is the reason I do the hotly debated issues. One remarkable example of Wendy's proud editorial includes her combative relationship with hip jump versatile scene Diddy comms. Throughout the long term, Wendy hasn't avoided tending to bits of hearsay and claims, encompassing quiets even at the gamble of confronting repercussions from counting claimed actual quarrels with individuals from the Young Lady bunch all out to guessing about Cole's very own life. Wendy's frankness has over and again put her in conflict with the strong figure. In an especially vital episode, Wendy alluded to more profound layers of control inside Com's reign of prominence, proposing an example of control and compulsion. Her cases, while speculative, indicated a hazier side of the music business where magnates use their influence to quietness this degree and keep a veneer of power. He said, no one that I may manage, no one that I know will do anything with you. All no business by any means, except for Wendy's strength, didn't stop there. In a broadcast fragment, she thought for even a second to address the intricacies of Kaminsky's heartfelt entrapments. Using a stir and drawing ire from his allies, notwithstanding confronting kickback, and in any event, losing her position at one point, Wendy stayed unfazed, proceeding to talk her reality. Notwithstanding difficulty, the equals between Wendy's candor and her ongoing quandary are difficult to disregard. Might it at some point be that her refusal to keep quiet has prompted her being designated and quieted through lawful means, the planning of her conservatorship concurring with elevated examination of B. Rushes, and his supposed offense raises doubts of ulterior thought processes at play, besides Wendy's set of experiences of revealing awkward bits of insight about influential people like Holmes Loan's trustworthiness, to the hypothesis that her conservatorship might be a purposeful endeavor to dishonor her and smother her voice as she mulls, heavily influenced by outside powers unfit to get to her